It's this thing that you usually get them from Home Depot or regulator. I think it's a water regulator. That's what it is. Running a big family is very different from running a family that maybe has 1 or 2 children. And if you have a big family or you're thinking of having a big family, you probably already have an idea about this. But the dynamic is quite different. It's the difference between setting 3 plates at the table every night versus setting 8 plates at the table every night. It could be the difference between laundry, which is washing 5 pairs of jeans on a Saturday versus 40 pairs of jeans on a Saturday. So how do you make that work? Planning and systems. And we're going to talk about them. Hi, I'm Kay. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you coming. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out and let those algorithms know that you're watching. We're going to jump right in and talk about big families. When I talk about a big family, I'm talking about having 5, 6 children, and preferably 2 parents in the home. And everyone is trying to run this thing together. And it is a machine, and it is quite different. It is very easy for things to go haywire and for a home with that many children to be completely chaotic. But actually, when you break it down and you look at it, it's no different than if you were to have a house with 2 children. If it's not run with systems, that same home can have more chaos in it than a home that has 5 or 6 children in it. Logistically speaking, it does take more financially. Physically speaking, it does take more out of you physically. But if you're in this position and you're watching this video and you have 5 or 6 children, you already know that. And it's probably already pulling something more from you, which is what made you seek this video out, to get some answers on how I can do this better. And the biggest part about running a house that has that many moving parts is having systems in place, menu planners, recipes that you already know that can be your immediate go-to when the day is, running off schedule and you need to put something on the table at 6 o'clock without going out and buying food, which is, if you're buying food for 3 people, it looks quite different versus buying takeout McDonald's for 8. It can be the difference between you spending $75 to $85 at McDonald's versus spending $20 if you're a family of 3 or 2. So it does make a big difference. How you manage that difference, it all comes down to you. And that's the perfect part about running a big family. First thing we're going to tackle is budgeting. Because budgeting to run a family that big, it can be tricky if you don't have your mechanisms in place. The first mechanism is have a plan. Have a specific plan. Grocery-wise, which is, I'm not talking about, mortgage or rent or other personal expenses. Those things are going to be things that you regulate. But speaking grocery-wise, making sure that everyone has breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and all those kinds of things in the house, I would start with a menu plan. Start scheduling the days, pick one day actually of the week that you are going to schedule to sit down and make the menu for that entire week. It is non-negotiable. And you make that menu, you post that menu, and if you have one already in your home, I would create a command center. Well, what is the command center? In the link in this description of this video, I actually have a full-on blog post that I did for how to create a command center in your home. Any home, whether your home is an apartment or whether your home is a 16-room mansion, it will work for you. There is a plan for a command center that you can put in your home that will be your go-to spot for you managing your home, managing whether it be the finances, the maintenance of your home, your groceries, everything goes in that command center. And I go into a lot of detail in that particular blog post. Check it out. Also, if you're interested with starting into a meal planner, I have a free meal planner that is a printable. I'll also put that link in the description. You can make up your own if you want to just sit down and write it out yourself, that's fine. But this is free and it's something that I use in my own home. I've just printed out and it keeps a track of the groceries. It keeps a track of also my pantry inventory. So at a glance, as I use something, I cross it off the list and I know that it needs to go on my grocery list that's already next to my meal planner for the week. And it just makes it really easy for me. This is how I meal plan. I grab a spot that I know is really comfortable, a cup of tea, and I pull out my meal planner. The first page is the monthly meal planner, and beside it is the grocery list for everything that I will need to produce what I want for that first week. The second sheet is actually the menu planner that I can display, that the kids can take a look at, my husband can take a look at. Saves me from having to answer the time-old question of what's for dinner. The third page is my grocery list. It is broken down into all of the different categories of sections in the grocery store, which makes it really easy when I get ready to go shopping, and I love that paper and pencil feel of just checking off the list. So what I do is I go in and I just start to fill in each day and each meal. If you're interested, this is completely free. You can click the QR code. It's a printable. You can print it out as many times as you like. This is something that I do when I'm completely relaxed. I just take my time and think it through, because the last thing I want to do is have to go back and change anything. But again, that's why I put it in pencil. All things are flexible. I hope this really helps you, and check it out. See if it will be a good fit for you and your family. In the house, when you have so many moving parts and you have maybe 5 or 6 children that are going into the refrigerator, that are taking things, or that are, you're making dinners, you're making meals, it can be really, really fast to diminish those groceries. And before you know it, you're like, well, what do I have? Are we out of ketchup? Are we out of, and then you find yourself making these last minute runs to the grocery store that end up costing you money. And right now, at the time this video is being made, gas is over $4 a gallon. I don't know where you are, but where you live, but here, extra trips to the grocery store can end up costing you more than the groceries that you're buying. So first things first is to get your command center, get things set up in place, because you're able to govern that aspect of things. You're able to govern how things are going to be used in your home, okay? You may also come up with a system that you have it, crossed off, where you're able to keep track of how much milk is in the house, how much, you know what your staple items are, and keep track of those. A great way to save money on groceries is to shop by sales. Right now, they make things really, really easy. You don't have to run into the store to grab one of those circular papers anymore to find out what is on sale. Go online. Do this during the time when you're updating your menus. Go online, go into the grocery stores, your local grocery stores, whatever it is, whether it's Walmart or Kroger. You'd be surprised, because sometimes Kroger and Publix actually have better sales on certain items than Walmart may have going on at that particular time. And if it's a store that's not too far from you to go to, it can save you quite a bit of money, from between detergent. I know that's that's something that you'll be using a lot. Same thing with detergents. Take a moment, 5 minutes of planning of going into those apps or keeping those apps in your phone can really make a difference. BJ's, Costco's, and I believe Sam's Club are the 3 big wholesale grocery places. If you're able to, if your income permits you to shop or get a membership in one of those places, I would advise doing it. When we got our memberships to those particular wholesale stores, find yourself shopping 1 time a month versus going to the grocery store 3 times a week, or going and getting one big set of groceries. Your membership to one of those They may be like $50, $50 or $60, depending on the kind that you get. But I find that you will shop less. Getting things in bulk, if you have the ability to store them, will actually save you money in the long run and mostly save you trips to the grocery store. So that is a big help. Along the lines of groceries and eating, paper plates. I can't tell you, it's like the light bulb went on. Paper plates save you a lot of time on those midweek dinners where you don't want to go through the whole washing the dishes thing and all of that. It is also something the kids can use and handle. Depending on how old your kids are, you don't have to worry about them dropping glass plates, cutting themselves, or anything like that. When you're working with a really large family that's going to help save some money, our water, gosh, I don't know what they're called. It's this thing that you usually get them from Home Depot or Lowe's. It screws onto your water. It's like a water saver. You screw it into the faucet. You may already have them in there, depending on, your home. And what it does is, even if, let's say, one of the kids turns that water on to full blast, and like they're brushing their teeth or they're washing their face or whatever, and it doesn't have to be that high. Regulator, I think it's a water regulator. That's what it is. It regulates the water that comes out. And so even if they turn it on to full blast, it will regulate the stream, and you will find a change in your water bill. It really makes a difference, especially if you have 8 people or 6 people getting ready every single morning, brushing their teeth, taking showers, and all of that. It makes a difference. They have ones for the faucets and also for the bathtubs. For shower heads, they have shower heads that have those already installed in them. And even though they run the water, the length of time, it doesn't really matter, because the water that comes out will not be the full blast, and you will actually notice a difference in your water bill. Another money saver is shopping. Let's talk about clothes shopping. Okay, every year kids have to go back to school. They're going to school with new clothes. They're going to school with, you're going to have to shop for sneakers. They grow. The ones that fit them 6 months ago may not even fit them now. When you go to clothing shop, one of the really good tips is to shop for the summer right when winter is coming in, and shop for winter right when winter is going out and spring is coming in. So what most of the stores do is, when they are in that shift and they have an inventory change and they're actually going to be putting out their winter items, they will put their summer items on a really huge clearance sale. Whether it be short pants, tank tops, any summer clothes in general, they generally put them into the clearance section, or they will put them on a really, really big sale. Perfect time to buy those items. Same thing with winter. If you walk into any department store, typically if you walk in February, I say, about February-ish, January, sometimes even January, you will start seeing them start to rotate their inventory and put a lot of those sweaters that were $20, $30 on sale for like $5, $10. You'll get really great savings on those items. And what you do is get yourself a storage bin and label it winter clothes or whatever, or new clothes, and put them into those storage bins, seal them up, and when the season comes around, you have them. You may want to buy them a little larger, because your child, depending on the age of your child, they are growing. If they're teenagers and they're, getting ready to graduate from high school, they've pretty much reached their height and their size, so you may not have to do that as much. You can just get their size and store it, and they'll have a nice brand new sweater to pull out as soon as the weather starts changing. Same thing with jackets and coats. You can get really great things on sale at that time for the kids. And buying them during those times, it's the smartest way to do it. If you're late and you buy in the season, you're going to be paying premium dollar. And when you have a big family, that can really rack up very quickly. It can mean the difference between you giving them 5 or 6 new shirts to start school with versus the same price for 2. So take your time, and do your bargain hunting. So that's it. Just quick tips and ways that you can save some money during this time when, there's presently financial crunches. But any time in life, saving money is something that you can do at any time in life. When you actually save whatever you're saving, you may want to take that and roll that into a savings or put it towards your business. In my other video, I talk about 5 things that you can do in your 30s and 40s that can revolutionize your 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I go a little bit deeper, and I'll put a link to that video at the end of this one if you're interested in watching it. And it's true. It will revolutionize, and it will save you and your kids from a lot of headache later on as you get older. So thank you so much for watching. If you got any value out of this video, please like and subscribe. It would really help the algorithms to know that you're present, that you're there, and that you're involved. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the description. Leave them in the comment box, and I'll definitely get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to seek before you leap, because just because you can doesn't mean you should. Have a great day. God bless.